Hey guys, this is Leland Baptist, and in today's video, I want to address a question or something that I hear a lot, which is how can I obtain financial freedom? Okay, now financial freedom is different for everyone. All right, financial freedom is different for everyone, but we're going to touch on some basics that can be applied to any financial model that you are going to use for financial freedom. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first question that everyone should have is this: what is freedom? Now, I'm going to tell you guys my definition of freedom, and then you can maybe put in the comments, let me know your definition of freedom, because everyone has a different perspective and mindset on freedom. Financial freedom, from my perspective, gives you the ability to venture. It gives you the ability to travel. It gives you the ability to experience various things in life without being restricted to having to do something for income. So for example, if someone's working a traditional 9 to 5, they may feel restricted on the time they have to go home, go to bed, maybe play with their children, possibly go on vacation. Maybe traditionally they only get 2 weeks of vacation. Okay. So financial freedom means that you have the ability to do that and more, but you're able to do those things on your time frame, on your preference. All right. You're not being forced to take a holiday before the end of the year. Okay. Because you're afraid you might miss out on holiday pay. Okay. So what is financial freedom? Now, a simple way of looking at this is having an asset that is able to generate income. Okay. Having an asset that is going to generate you income. Now, this can be one asset. It can be multiple assets that is going to generate you income. The other thing is you want that income to be comparable to what you are currently doing, right? So I'm going to put this in red here. But whatever you're doing right now, this instant for income, are you able to walk away for a month? Are you able to walk away for 2 weeks? Are you able to walk away for 1 week? Are you able to walk away for a weekend, right? So if you're able to walk away for a weekend, let's say that's 2 or 3 days, right, on your work schedule, right? That money has basically purchased you time. Because the thing that we're not understanding a lot of times is that we don't understand that time is way more valuable than money itself. So find out where you are right now. That's number one. So if you're able to have 3 days without having to work for income, that's perfect. The next thing you want to do is figure out what can you leverage to give yourself an additional 3 days, just to double that. Okay. Now, here's the thing that oftentimes people get confused with or they're afraid of. Real estate is just one asset. Real estate is just one avenue. Real estate isn't the end all be all. As a matter of fact, I don't suggest that you put all of your eggs in one basket. Okay. So here's the thing. If you are doing real estate, and we'll talk about how to do this more with investing and how to use different methods and how to grow your money, right? With investing in real estate. But just as an example, if you are doing real estate, and let's say you start small. Okay, most people start small, but you can always, scale up and do apartments and syndicate and so forth. Let's say you start small, and this piece of real estate is going to yield you nothing more than $50 a month. Okay, that's your cash flow from this real estate transaction. And you're going to have this $50 a month over the next 12 years. Okay. All right. Over the next 12 years, you're going to have $50 a month. Okay. Every single month, like clockwork, you're going to have that income. In a perfect world. You want to know what is the amount, what's the number that you need to have in order to have that time freedom, that financial freedom. So for example, what are your bills, right? And it's important for us to do this because when you tally, write down, manage, put in a spreadsheet, all of your expenses, it lets you know where you need to be at the beginning of the month or at the end of a month, okay? It's super important. So you wanna write down all of your bills, all of your expenses, okay? Write down your savings amount, write down your investment amount. And whatever that amount is, let's say that amount is $5,000, okay? This amount here needs to become your bedrock foundation. In other words, everything that you do needs to ensure that this is taken care of first, okay? So in this example, the $5,000 mark, this is taken care of first. You want to get in the habit of purchasing time first, okay? Purchasing time first. So for example, and we're not talking about the methods that you use to get financial freedom. We want to first define what financial freedom is first, okay? So in this example, you know that 5,000 is where you need to be every single month, all right? And we're not talking about what you can do first to earn the 5,000, but we're just simply talking about knowing that that's required, okay? We now need to figure out, or now that we know this is the 5,000, we now have to figure out if we double this, right, as our base, that means that the 10,000 will gain us 2 months or 60 days. Okay. I know this seems simple, but you want to hear me out. This will gain you 60 days. As you're earning your income, don't look at it as you're putting money away to save. Look at it as you're putting money away to invest. You're putting money, you're going to consistently place money in here. You're going to consistently place money in here, right? For more time. Because here's what will happen. You're going to build up to that 10,000. That's 60 days. And instead of holding the 10,000, what you're going to have to do is you're going to need to reinvest the 10,000. Okay. And this is under the belief and the assumption that you're going to be able to consistently meet your basic needs. Okay. So you're going to invest because you've already met your basic needs. When we made that budget was for your basic needs. And that included your savings. So now what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and you're going to invest the 10,000. This is where most people make a mistake. What most people do is they hold on to the 10,000. Okay. Most spend it. There's a small amount of people who actually hold on to the 10,000, and then time goes by and the 10,000 becomes 15,000. Okay. Then time goes by and the 15,000 becomes 20,000. Okay. And then time goes by and the 15,000 and the 20,000 becomes 30,000. All right. Fine. But here's the thing. If every time that there was an increase of 5,000 or 10,000, if you were to continue to invest that, right, what would happen, even if all of this 10,000 did was bring, out of a 12-month span, was bring you $1,000, right? All it did was bring you $1,000 over a 12-month span. And if you just continue to do that for every 10,000 that you receive, this is where the power comes from. It's being able to repeat this same thing over and over again. It seems simple, but it's super powerful. This is where the power is. It's you being able to consistently invest. Because each time that you're investing, what's actually happening from a more spiritual perspective, what's actually happening is this. You're taking a seed. All right, this is our seed right here. This is our $5,000 or our $10,000 or our $1,000, okay? You're taking a seed and you are essentially burying that seed in the ground, okay? You're gonna water this seed that's in the ground. Now, here's the thing people don't understand. With seeds, you want to give them time to germinate. That means that when you put a seed in the ground, just follow me here, okay? You don't have to be a seed expert like me, right? Or have a agriculture background like I do to understand this. When you put your seed in the ground, you have to give it time to germinate. All right? Time is going to elapse. Time's elapsing here, okay? As it germinates, as it develops, as it grows, the first thing that's going to happen with the seed is it's going to need water, okay? Call that a stream. It's going to need sunlight for nourishment. Most of them do, at least, okay? And the first thing that's going to happen with the seed is as it's in the ground, where do you think it grows first? If you answered and said that it's going to grow deep, you're right, okay? This little seed that's right here is not going to sprout up immediately. It's typically going to need to take over time to grow some roots, a good, strong foundation. It's going to need to spread a little bit. It's going to need to get a base, okay? And then as time elapses more, as you continue to water it, right? As it continues to germinate, as it continues to get the sunlight and nutrition, then that seed is going to begin to grow towards the sun. All right? Once the seed has developed into a tree, right? It has now developed into a tree. It has various leaves. Now that it has various leaves, those leaves begin to turn into birth into various fruit, right? Various fruit. But here's the thing that people miss out on. When we put this seed in the ground, if we pick it back up, we kill its process to grow, to develop, to germinate. Okay? In this process, if we pick the seed back up as it's spreading its roots, we kill it again. We have to make sure that our hands are not contaminating the soil, right? Even when the seed is able to stand on its own, we still don't take it out of the ground. We allow that seed, which is now a tree, to produce some type of fruit. Now that we have the right fruit, this is when we go ahead and we're able to pick some of the fruit off of the leaves, off of the healthy leaves. And what do? Do we eat them? Technically, what we do in nature is we eat the fruit, we consume the fruit, and then we will replant the actual seed. From a business perspective or investing practice, what this would be is this. This is how this looks. You have a seed, and let's not say 10,000. Let's make it even more palatable to the average person. And let's say it's $1,000. Okay. You have a seed, and it's $1,000. That's your initial investment. Okay. And I don't care what it could be $100. You make your initial investment, right? You scout out the land. Okay. You move all the weeds out, and then you plant that seed into that investment. You water it, right? It gets nourishment. Time has to elapse with an investment. Okay. This is why people invest for the long term. Time has to elapse. The next thing that happens is that investment is going to get a foundation first before it gives you a return. But still, in this process, time is elapsing. Then what will happen is, as the investment is producing fruit, we don't pluck the investment out. That would defeat the purpose, right? What we do instead is we take the earnings, right? And then we want to deploy these same earnings, or the new seeds, into more investments to do the same thing. So much so that eventually you have a forest. Warren Buffett has a great quote, which is, someone is sitting in the shade under a tree that was planted by that person's ancestors. I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially what this is. As long as you don't consume the seed too early and you allow it to germinate, you put yourself at a much better position for financial independence. Okay. So here's the thing. Now that we have the fruit, and it's okay to, in this case, to eat part of the fruit. But keep in mind, we're not going to consume everything, only part of it. Because we're going to reinvest or replant the seed into another ground that we deem to be fertile. And it may take time for you to find the right ground to plant that seed. But you understand that you are only going to use that seed or those bags of seeds, right, from this one tree. You are only going to use it for the purpose of planting. You're not using it for the purpose of eating. Okay? And if this is done correctly over time, with this being repeated over and over and over and over and over and over again, what will happen is that you will have a forest, right? You will have a forest every single time. Now, I know you're thinking, well, you didn't tell me what to invest in. You didn't tell me how to invest, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. I didn't tell you what to invest in, but I did tell you how to invest. You invest for the purpose of it becoming reciprocal. You invest for the purpose of it becoming a cycle. That's why you invest. You don't invest to become a millionaire tomorrow. As a matter of fact, if you become a millionaire, or not if, when you become a millionaire from your investments, the moment that you start to eat or take out of the core or the principle of your investments, you're no longer a millionaire. That's why you always want to keep the money in circulation. You always want to keep the money working. There was an article that was written in reference to Peter Thiel. And in the article, it showed how Thiel had invested into a specific type of IRA. Okay, and it's basically the same method that we teach our clients, right? We show them how to do the same thing. His income grew over 3,000 times of what the initial investment was, which was a little over $1,600. Okay, it grew. But here's the thing that makes it beautiful. In this process of growing, he never took money out of it. He never took money out of it. And that's what allowed it to propel so quickly, all right, and so rapidly, all right? He wasn't taking distributions from it. And that's the thing I want you guys to understand. Sure, I didn't tell you exactly what to invest in, but this is the method that you're going to use. Now, this method will show up in different forms. It will show up in different avenues. But this, ultimately, this right here, this is the method that you have to use. This is the method. It's the cycle. And this cycle is with us throughout our lives. When you cut your hair off, right? The average person, at least, their hair grows back. Ladies, when you trim your hair grows more. But if you were to shave your hair off, in some cases, it may not grow back, or if it does, it will go back in a different tendency or weaker. Okay, and that's the same thing here. When you plant, when that seed begins to grow, you cannot take it out. You can't deroot it from the soil because it's not going to come back. Instead, what you'll do is you'll take some of the cream off top, okay? And all the good things that are there, the seeds, you're going to reinvest those. And you're going to follow the same exact process each and every time. That's how you invest. You don't invest so that you can go to Miami and purchase a yacht. That's not how you invest. There's nothing wrong with anyone having entertainment. My only suggestion is that type of entertainment, unless it's a business trip, that type of entertainment should not be done at the expense of your investments. Let that be done on the expense of your salary. Or worst case, your savings, but surely not at the expense of your investments. So with that being said, thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next video.